and we'll look at the output report. All right, so very simple workflow that you use for each and every each and every energy modeling software. All right, so let me just open my OpenStudio model, which I generated on day 2 class on June 13th. So this is my SketchUp interface. I'm going to delete Steve, just select him and delete. I'm going to open my OpenStudio model that I worked on last week, or actually 2 weeks back. Just hit no here. And this is the model which I saved on June 13th. That was my last model. And I actually got some time to rename all my spaces. I'm just going to open the inspector tool. You know how it works. I'm going to bring both these screen next to each other. So go to space option, and you can see all my spaces are properly renamed now. That's a very good strategy to rename them properly in case you need to QC a model later. For example, if you are in some, let's say, ABC wall, and there are some errors related to that. So basically, this nomenclature will help you out to diagnose those errors easily, and we'll go through this process in detail. So don't worry about that. You can see those thermal zones are also renamed properly. I know which thermal zone is connected to which space. If you remember, we used extensions, user script, and this particular measure to rename all my thermal zones based on my space names. All right, so in case you're not familiar with this, please go to the previous video and look into it. All right, so we are not going to run this again.